road grader.
Yeah, so I don't know what brand this thing is, but we used it around here once or twice when I was a kid and parked it right here. So yeah, that tree's probably 45 years old, something like that. It's pretty well locked in there. I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
Anti-theft.
Yeah. You hit it? No bueno. Go ahead.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Chasin Rust. This week we're going to do a little bit of a tour of just some of the stuff we have, mainly the stuff that's outside, because the stuff that's inside, it's packed in there and we really can't get good video of all that stuff. So it's cold out, you know, it's kind of hard to do video stuff. I'm sure you guys have noticed a couple of our past videos is some stuff that we had left over and in the works that we just didn't get released last summer because they didn't fit. But it's cold now and we're out of stuff, so here we are.
It is from last week's video. We said it was 87 degrees that day, and it's 71 degrees colder today than it was last week's video. So yep. There you go.
There's this white stuff on the ground.
Yeah.
You know, fun times, but
it's great times.
Yeah. But we're gonna go take a look at some of the implements we got sitting here at the house, and some of the tractors and stuff. Again, it's most of the stuff outside. We'll if we get to it and got time, then we might show you a few things that are inside. But like I said, most of it's packed away and tucked in there pretty tight, so we can't get to it all. That'll be later in the spring. But we've also had a few major life changes in between, you know, the last working video, which I think our last working video was on the combine with me and Dylan.
It was.
You know, the weather's been cold.
Winter showed up.
Yeah, and it showed up with a vengeance. It took a while to get here, but you know, some of you guys have been asking for a tour of our stuff, and we said later in the spring, which that's still true. We'll do a you know, another tour video of some of the stuff that's inside and not in today's video. But as of today, we're gonna focus on the stuff that's outside. So if you guys like that sort of thing, stick around. You know, if you want to know what we got, that maybe, you know, some of the stuff you've seen in previous videos, some of it you might not, but that's what we're doing today. We're just gonna go for a tour and see what we got. So
we thought it was a great day to just go outside and walk around in the cold and the snow.
Yep, that's pretty much where we're at. So
yeah.
As always, guys, remember, like, subscribe, tell a friend. And hey, we are over 2,000 subscribers now. We're at like 2,100.
And
that's good for us.
We are in the works of trying to get some hats put together and setting up a store and the whole works with that. So stay tuned for that. You'll see something coming up in the weeks or months to come. It's not as easy to get all that stuff set up. And, you know, we work on 40, 50, 80-year-old equipment. We don't work so well with computers, so we're a little slow on that side of things, but we're getting there. So if you want a hat, if you've asked us about a hat, stay tuned. We got some stuff coming. It'll be sometime down the road.
Yep. We have heard you, and we are working on it.
Yeah.
Also, if you guys follow us on Facebook, we have started a few weeks ago Tractor Tuesday. And that is mainly for the history of your machine. And, you know, like this 620 here, well, to some of you it might be just a generic John Deere 620. But to Dad, you know, this thing means something, right? You know?
Yeah, maybe your tractor's got a great story.
Yeah.
Family history, maybe it's a family tractor, maybe you got a great story where you pulled it out from, or somebody you bought it from, whatever the case is. They all got stories, right? And that's the other half of the tractor world is the stories that go with them. So
if you have a tractor that you like, it doesn't have to be green, doesn't have to be John Deere. we are John Deere guys, so that's why we have so much John Deere stuff. But if it's an International or a Case or an Alice, we would be glad to feature it. Now, we will take them in order that we get them, so if you send us one and it's going to be 3 months before it comes out, I apologize, but please send that to us. Send a couple pictures if if it's a family tractor and you got old pictures of it, send those with it along with some recent ones and just the story of it, and then maybe a couple videos if you have them. If you don't, it's no big deal. And again, it's strictly for you guys, because I like the history of our tractors, and as Dad said, that is the other side of the whole tractor hobby, is just the history of things. So if you guys follow us on Facebook, send us a message, and we would be glad to feature your guys' tractors on Tractor Tuesday. So
we'll drop a link down in the comments, down in the description of this video, and probably like right across here on the bottom as well, so you'll know how to get in touch with us for those pictures and videos. Send them in. We'd be happy to have them.
We would be. So without further ado, we're going to go for a tour.
Yep.
So again, all right, everybody. So today we're out here in Purgatory, and we're going to look at a few things that we have acquired since YouTube started a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And some stuff that we've had for a while. So right here we got Don the Dodge. We got Don from Silas at Adventures Made from Scratch,
Hutchinson, Kansas.
And as you can tell, he's on the to-do list. He's on the short list. But our plans with Don are to eventually, that's going to be our haul truck going to shows. I think we can fit one tractor on the bed there, and then we bought the delivery trailer over right there.
We'll get there in a minute.
We'll get there in a second, but I think they'd look good paired up together. What is on the back of Dawn is an axle and some wheels off of a number 7 combine that we're going to make a teeter-totter out of for the kids at our show. And there's a couple hit and miss engines up there. I'm not sure.
One's a 1.5 horse and one's a 3-horse John Deere.
Yep. We've had those engines for a while. My grandfather acquired those back in his heyday and his prime. So next up, we've got this 730 diesel sitting here that my grandfather farmed with this. This was one of his main tractors for a while, and it developed a noise over in the first reduction area, and he took it apart and never put it back together. That's he had Parkinson's disease, and that was kind of a thing, was he would start a project and not really finish it. But actually, was it the right side or the left side that got snapped off?
This side.
So it's this side right here. He got hit by a drunk driver one day, and it snapped the whole axle off.
Cleaned it off right down the side here.
Yeah.
Just.
And Jack Puritan in Lamar is actually the one who put it together. Together.
Interesting story about that. He needed this tractor back, and so he took it over to Jack's in Lamar to the dealership, and Jack had another 730 there on his lot for sale, and they didn't have the parts to fix this. So him and my dad made a deal to pull the parts off the 730 that was on the yard, put on this tractor. And in the midst of all that, my dad actually had a Waterloo boy that he'd bought out in Kansas that he ended up in that process trading to Jack. So the Waterloo boy that Jack has came from my dad, and then the Waterloo boy that we have now currently, my dad traded that one to Jack and bought the one that we have. So kind of an interesting side story there. But this tractor was one of the main tractors on our farm here for years and years and years. I don't know how many thousands of hours it's got on it, but a lot. And so 730 was one of my top favorite tractors, and the reason being was because I was sitting on the 720 that we had, watching my dad on the 730, because this was his tractor. No one else really got to drive this tractor, so I had to drive the 720, which, you know, if you know anything about John Deere's, you know that's a little bit older design. Same tractor, different sheet metal. And so I saw this tractor in the field all the time, and so that's why the 730 is one of my favorite tractors. It's also on the short list to have some stuff done to it. Hate that it's sitting out here, but space is somewhat what you call limited. So there it is, but it'll be revived someday.
And see, it even has the Barton County implement sticker still on the side of it.
Yeah.
Jack Puritan.
Sure does.
So, moving on our tour of Purgatory, we affectionately call this thing Mad Max. We picked this up for what, like 150 bucks?
Yeah.
It's just a little B that's got a homemade loader on it, and this thing, it's lived a rough life.
This is the epitome of rode hard and put up wet.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you.
Every time you look at it, you find something else. I mean, the frame's been cracked, the wheels are cracked out on the front, the frame's been broken, welded. It's got the custom exhaust pipe on it, you know, straight out of the plumbing department. And she's pretty rough, but
yeah.
It had good rear wheels on it when we bought it.
Come around this side.
For Dad has a 45B that is in the process of being restored. We haven't showed you guys that thing yet, but
so it's got the usual cracks here where they crack. It's cracked down here. It's cracked up in the front. Right here, been welded.
Cracked again.
And cracked again.
She's got some character.
Check out this, you know, you put your big nail in there through your axle. That's how you hold your wheel on. And it's even, I don't know, it's got cracks back here. She's rough, guys.
She's been around the block a time or three.
She has done her duty.
Yep. So.
Certainly has.
All right, moving on. So we've got this 2-bottom plow here. I'm pretty sure this one came from the 10-holder auction. Yeah, and case of mistaken identity here. Dad thought it was something rare because it was so narrow, but turns out it's just an old number 44. How do you feel about that?
It's okay.
It is a nice plow. We haven't used it yet, but by all means, it's broke right here, but we'll figure that out later. Then we got this lister planter that we picked up the day that they went and got Dawn.
This came home the day Dawn came home, yeah, from western central Kansas. Lister planter. They don't use these around here where we are, so it's a rare thing for us, but this thing is legit 100% complete. It's got all the guards and the chains and the stuff, except it's missing the buckets up there. I see that, but
yeah, the buckets are gone.
But
other than that, she's good to go.
It is there. It's even got the little mud guards back here on the rear wheels. So those buckets are easy to find, but a cool piece that we don't have here in our area, so it was neat to pick it up. Then we've got,
this is number 10, isn't it? Delivery trailer?
I believe it's a number 10 delivery trailer, yeah. Yes.
You guys saw us pick this up. If you're a long-time viewer of the channel, you know, you watched us acquire this fine jewel. It's pretty rough, but you know, it hopefully will have her up and going.
All the pieces are there.
Yeah, it's got all the pieces, and that's the main thing.
It's there's, you know, it looks worse than it is.
And like I said,
it is worse than it is. But, you know, it's got the original John Deere hubcaps on the wheels.
Those are hard to find. But I think this is going to look good behind Dawn over there.
Yeah, it'll make a good matched pair with Dawn.
Yeah, so
take that to shows.
Then we've got,
this is a bottle cap plow that we got up by Kansas City.
yeah, this was on our marketplace find.
This was a marketplace find. Yeah, this is the one. This one came up from Kansas City on our marketplace Iowa trip. We had like this much room on the end of the trailer, and we said, hey, let's fill it up. So we did.
This much room and 20 minutes left in the time frame.
Yeah, but you don't see the bottle cap very often. They were mid-20s to mid-30s, I believe. This one is the exact same plow that I bought like 3 miles west of town here when I don't even know if you were born yet or not then, but long time ago I bought this plow, hauled it home in the bed of my pickup just because it said John Deere on it, you know, because that's what you do.
All right, so moving on, we got this is a hay press that I bought out of southern Arkansas. It came up for sale on Marketplace a few years ago. This is pre-YouTube days, and I thought I just had to have it. So I made the trek down there, brought her home, and this is where it sits. But it actually isn't as bad as it looks. I mean, it's got a few welds on it here and there.
Those are pretty standard on hay presses,
yeah.
actually.
I actually think this is the junior.
I believe it is. We've got a bigger one out the other side of the chicken house here.
There were two different sizes as far as I can tell, and I'm not an expert on hay presses, so if you know more about it than I do, I would be interested to learn. But
this one is the smaller one of the two we have.
I'm pretty sure this one's the smaller one. It's definitely the smaller than the other one we've got out front. But it was a deal. I couldn't pass it up, and you know, it's free. It turns, so it was a pretty sweet little number. But where we went and acquired this thing from, that was a different story. It was a little sketch, but we made it. And then we got, what is this?
Number
Big four.
Big four.
Mowing machine.
Mowing
here.
machine. So I don't even know where that came from. It's been here for 40 years, probably. But we've got all of them. We're gonna go through them here in just a second.
Hold on, we got to come back and look at the little M here. So,
oh yeah, and we forgot the other.
this little jewel right here belonged to my grandfather. It sat in the shed as long as I can remember. We had our auction a couple years ago, and my aunt decided that she wanted it, and here it sits waiting on her to come get it. Because we drug it out, she said she wanted it, so we drug it back, and here it sits.
Also used this on the farm for years and years and years. Just a utility tractor we had here. We raked hay with it. I never did, but my dad told me that they actually pulled a 4-row corn planter with it one time, and it worked real well for that. So just used it around. When I was a kid, we had a hay elevator, not that hay elevator, but a hay elevator just like that, and that's what we always used the M on, was the hay elevator. So been around a while.
Oh, we forgot your cultivator too. We walked right on past it too.
So this is a cultivator or plow, I don't know what you call them, but I got this, I think back before we started the channel, actually.
Yeah, this was about a year before we started the channel.
But it was a really cheap price, and it was fairly close to home, so I went and got it. It just needs some tires on it, and I think it probably would work with a little bit of elbow grease and some time. I think you could probably make it work. We'll probably take that to our local show, make it work.
All right, moving on. We're here to the 3-bottom plow that I bought from the 10-holder auction, and we used it. I don't know if you guys saw that video. We just took a little short video the day we unloaded it. It did turn dirt here out in the yard, so you know, but it'll be hopefully taking it to quite a few plow days, because it is a good one. And
You'll
then
see it. You'll see it again.
Yeah, you'll definitely see it again on the channel. Maybe sooner than you think. And here's the 3-bottom that Dad bought. It's a hydraulic lift, cylinder up front there, and it needs some repair, but you will probably see it again here soon because it's going to go behind Dad's 620.
Yeah. The reason I bought it is because so we got plenty of 2-bottoms. I don't even know how many 2-bottoms we have, but we have a bunch of 2-bottoms. We got I think three 3-bottoms now. These 2 and the one over at the showgrounds, right?
Yeah, but then we also have the 3-bottom disc plow that we bought too. That's over there too.
Okay, well, I'm talking conventional.
Yeah.
Anyway, the reason I bought this one is it's a 3-bottom hydraulic, and we have a 4-bottom hydraulic right over there. So, you know, when you're a collector, you gotta, you know, it's just like buying tractors. You gotta, you know, you got one, you gotta get the next one. So I got a 3-bottom hydraulic plow. We have a 4-bottom hydraulic plow, and we've got plenty of 2-bottoms around. So just kind of completes the plow collection, if you will.
Yeah.
This is a John Deere Dane mower. So fairly rare mower, I think. I don't know, there may be tons of them out there, but I've never seen another one that said both John Deere and Dane on it.
It's kind of hard to tell, but it says Dane right here, but it has a John Deere cover.
Yep. Mower. And then, so the reason Dane was their own manufacturing company that John Deere bought out, one of the many companies that John Deere bought out over the years, and Joseph Dane was the owner of the company, and later on famously built the Dane tractors that were whole topic on those with John Deere. John Deere wouldn't recognize them for years and years. Now they do. But anyway, that's a different story. This is a hay. It's so cold, my mind's froze up. This is a
hay mower, mowing machine.
Mowing machine, whatever. Yeah,
we're standing here next
a John
to
Deere Dane mowing machine. So it's a.
Well, look at that hawk.
It's a fairly rare piece. At least I think so. I've not seen one. Again, here's another 2-bottom plow.
So, funny story about this plow. You guys have seen the video where we plowed the driveway, right? That's this one. We bought this as a parts plow out of Kansas, and you know, I thought he said go, Bo, go. All right, I really did.
Yeah. It's
just,
okay.
You know.
You know, we bought this on a day much like today.
Yeah,
it was like 0 degrees, and the wind was blowing that day like mad out in Kansas.
That's Kansas for you, though.
But yeah, we bought this for parts, and it parted the driveway.
Moving on, we have a number 3.
Got a number 3 mowing machine here. Same fashion as the number 4. This is a this one just says John Deere on it. It doesn't have a number. So this is pre-numbered series tractors, pre-numbered series mowing machines. And this one over here is smaller, much narrower. It also just says John Deere on it. So I think this one's older than that one now. I think this is probably one of the older ones we have here. I think, I don't know. I am no expert on mowing machines, but this one is a John Deere number 1 right here. So we've got one. Is there a 2 around here?
I don't know. Yeah, number 2 right here next to it.
Oh, right here. I'm standing on it. So we got 1, 2, 3, and a 4 over there somewhere. And then we got 2 of them that say John Deere that don't have any numbers on them. And then we got a John Deere Dane over there. So pretty well got the John Deere mowing machines covered. Look how wide that is compared to that one there. I don't know. Anyway, they're here. So this is a John Deere, I don't know what number it is, KBH or something, I don't know. But we used this on the farm back when we were farming actively. Used this a lot, actually. So it got a lot of work around here. Original equipment to the farm here. next to it is the 4-bottom plow that we used here on the farm, and then next to it is the 5-bottom, what do they call that, a semi-mount plow or 3-point mounted plow? I don't know what they call them. Anyway, so back in the day, this plow here would be hooked on that 730 over there, and my dad would use that plow, and my grandfather would pull this plow with the 720 that I was talking about that I rode all the time. So those are the 2 plows that they used, and then the disc over there. So these are original to our farm.
Of course,
a lot of use.
You guys just saw the video on us acquiring the 350 elevator over there.
Yeah.
And here we got a 71 Dodge
70.
D100. Oh, 70 D100. My great grandfather bought it new.
Yeah.
And he didn't bother trading it in when he got a new truck. He just parked it back here.
Yeah.
So that's where it's been.
Next to it is a 60 Dodge that my dad acquired somewhere, I don't know where, but nice straight truck, other than the tree is kind of covering it up a little bit now, but it's a good solid truck.
Next, we got a 30, we believe a 35A, but it's got a replacement main case on it. Nothing particularly special. My grandfather, you know, he's the reason why we got into John Deere's and tractor collecting like we did, or have, and he drug this thing in from somewhere. You know where this one come from?
I don't remember.
But so he used to haul grain and hay and stuff all over the place, and he never liked to come home empty. So that's how we acquired most of what we have, is he didn't want to come home empty. And he used that, the last truck he used was that blue Dodge, which again, if you longtime viewers remember, I think the video is titled End of an Era. My sister and her husband wound up buying that truck at the auction, and it was tough to see that one go, but you know, he had to make cuts somewhere. But they were able to purchase that and the trailer to go with it, so they still have that. But that's what he drove all over the place hauling stuff, and it hauled what, one steam engine to California and another one somewhere else.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Just about every engine we have at our local showgrounds that over in Halltown, he hauled in on it. Not every one of them, but most of them.
A lot of them, and a lot that aren't there anymore.
Yeah, and the big engines and stuff, all of that, he hauled most of that stuff in on that blue Dodge. So.
I just discovered that this has a early round spoke wheel on it that's been cut off. I never knew that till right now.
Huh.
Probably should take that off there.
Probably should.
Remember, well, it's got the early frame.
Because it's got the early frame, and it's not an open fan shaft, but it still has the redhead governor on it. So, Dad is going to talk a little bit about replacement main cases.
Where's the
What?
rocks? Where is it?
It's over on the other side, right there underneath those leaves.
There it is.
Yeah.
So this is we believe this is a 35 model. We know it's a 35 model because it has the early frame up here. Come around here. So early frames were straight here. Later they came back and they went down for cultivators. But the early ones are straight like that in more of a, what is that, a triangle shape? Yeah. There's no tag, no tag on it whatsoever. And also it has a red head governor right here. You see that right there, that little pin sticking up, that is not the governor, red head oil. Sorry folks, it's cold out here. So that's a red, they call that the red head. So when your oil pressure comes up, that little pin comes up and that tells you you have oil pressure. That's what the early A's had. This one does not have a tag on the case whatsoever, and it doesn't have a heat code. So it's a replacement main case. And that happened frequently, not frequently, but that happened with these early tractors. They weren't quite as beefy as the later ones, and so they were prone to crack back here in the brake drum area and other places. And so we've just kept this one because of those various reasons. We also kept it because it has the optional rock seat bracket here. You'll see. Let me get the snow out of the way.
That was a 1 year only option.
1 year only rock. See there? You don't find that except in Missouri. That's a Missouri option right there, okay? Because that's a Missouri rock. At least I think it's a Missouri rock.
We think. We don't know.
I don't know where this thing came from. What else about it? I don't know. This is not the early power lift because it has the bigger pedals, but it does have power lift on it.
Yep.
So, you know, it's good for parts or whatever. Looks like somebody may have had lights on it or something at one time. I don't know what that box is. Anyway, we just wanted to talk about the main case there and show you, kind of explain what a replacement case is.
All right, so moving on. I think we're moving into the tractor section of this video. All right, so here we got a number 45 pipe loader that we picked up at an auction, or Dad picked up at an auction for about 60 bucks.
35, I think.
Oh, 35. Sorry, I doubled the price.
Yeah.
But we were gonna put it on Big Ugly, which only a couple of you'll know what that is, but that's a GM that me and Brian traded back and forth a couple times. And he had a loader on it. We were gonna put a loader on it. And you can fit a 45 pipe loader on a GM. Don't believe me? We'll post pictures if there's any skepticism. Over there's the Baker fan. You guys have seen it in a couple videos. And then there's a road grader with a tree growing up in it that's been here longer than I've been alive, and I'm sure longer than Dad's been alive. So, all right. So here we got a couple of Bs. This one we refer to as the Buzzsaw B. I believe it's a 36 or 37. Not really sure, but my grandfather actually cut his thumb off using this thing one time. And they sewed it back on, but you know, that is what happened at one point. This thing sat over in the trees. I really don't know. Why did you guys quit using it? Because you quit cutting firewood, probably.
We used it to sharpen fence posts with.
Yeah. So it was sitting off in the trees, and my little brother Dylan fell in love with it, and we still have it today. I think that's going to be a project when Dylan gets done with his military career that we tackle. But it wasn't locked up. It actually had, oh yeah, it's still free. Plenty of compression. But
I don't know about compression, but it's free.
But it's free. And then over here we got a brass tag 35B that we saved back. This was before we found Dad's 4-bolt B, but this one's not a 4-bolt, but it is a brass tag. So we decided we needed to keep it.
There it is.
And there it sits. And on the back side here, we got some round spoke wheels that I acquired, and they're actually going to go on my Open Fan A. You guys have seen it a few times, but they're F&H wheels. They're, you know, I think they'll look good on there. And this is what's left. This is where everything used to sit. My grandfather dragged it in, and it all sat back here, and all of this was all full. What did we drag out of here, like 60, 70 tractors?
Yeah.
It was a lot. It was all full, as far as you could see. Full of tractors and everything else. But what we have is what we've held on to, and this is a 40G This was, before we bought Glenn, this was on the list to do something with, and it's still on the list. It just, she needs some work.
Yeah. So I have always thought that this tractor came from West Texas. When we hauled the steam engine to California, we were coming back and we stopped at a tractor salvage yard, and we loaded up a G and brought it back. And I always thought that it was this tractor, but I've checked the serial number on this tractor, and this tractor was sold in Higginsville, Missouri. Sold new in Higginsville, Missouri, which is up by Kansas City. And I also have a check where he bought this tractor, because every time he bought a tractor, he wrote a check back in those days, and he put the serial number on the check. So this may or may not be the tractor that came from West Texas. I don't know. But anyway, I do know that it came from Higginsville, Missouri, and I do know we hauled a G home from West Texas, and I always thought it was this one. So there's that. There's the story on that one.
The more you know.
I guess that's not recent.
It's been there a while.
I guess.
And over here, we got an 820 rice special. She's been there a minute or three. Believe it or not, we've cut that tree down 3 separate times. And we tried to move it once, but it just didn't want to budge. So.
And the reason you can tell it's a rice special is because, if you can get in there, the brake drums are encased.
But she needs some work. I mean, you know, the clutch is, well, yes, it's there. And
Pieces of it are there.
I think this thing ran when he brought it home.
Pretty sure it ran when parked, folks. Ran when parked. Sure was. Sure did.
But this is another one that, you know, it's on the list.
You don't see 830 rice or 820 rice specials.
She is on the rough side of the list, but it's on the list, nonetheless. So.
It's a long list. Came out of Louisiana.
Well, you know, that is kind of rice country down there.
Muttville, warehouse something. Welsh, Louisiana is what it says. I think that's what it says. I don't have my glasses on.
So next on the list, you guys have seen this thing before. Recently, probably. But we got Dylan's 70 that we bought down by the lake. And we bought it as you see it. Matter of fact, it still has a full tank of fuel in it.
We haven't burned the fuel out of it yet.
But it's a good runner. It about killed me and Dad last time we tried to start it. And you know, there was some comments on the video about the clutch lever not being all the way forward. And I just want to let it be known that that's engaged. That's disengaged. Hear the click? We are well aware that the clutch is wore out. It needs work, folks. But it's a good runner. Don't know how many years it sat down there by the lake without running, but we went and I took the clutch apart because it wouldn't, the clutch pulley apart because it wouldn't engage or disengage, and basically just pulled it apart and put it back together, and we pulled it about 10 feet and it took right off. So that 70 we covered in a video a few weeks ago or a month ago now. My grandfather bought it new. great-grandfather bought it new, and it got the hard water syndrome. This cat dozer right here, they used it around the farm for a number of years, and again, it's got the the electric start option. So my grandfather got Parkinson's disease, and he couldn't. How you start these is you wrap the rope up around that flywheel over there, and you pull it. That's great when you're young and strong and all that good stuff, but as he got older, he came up with a solution. Modern problems require modern solutions, so it has the electric start option on there.
It does. Here's the other hay press.
Here's the other hay press that we were talking about earlier. See how much bigger this thing is? And I know this it's a lot newer than the other one, but it's obviously been here a day or three.
It's got the same
brakes in it that mine has
cracks.
out back.
Probably maybe due to the tree growing in it.
Well, that might have a possibility.
So this, we pulled this out of a shed down in Mammoth Spring, Arkansas. It was backed into a shed, and we bought this and a, 27D, I think. Bought this and a D at the same time. And we actually used this at our show a few times. Made some hay with it. It's got brand new blocks underneath that cover there. Obviously it needed to be more covered than that, but and it had a little single cylinder, can't remember what kind of engine it was, that sat on that pedestal on the front there, and that was my FFA project in high school, was restoring that engine. It's actually over there underneath the thing that fell down. So always had plans to restore this thing, but life gets in the way sometimes, and that's how it goes. But it's still here, and it's all there, so just needs the tree cut out of it.
Yep.
And then
you got a 2-row corn planter there.
That's a John Deere 2-row corn check planter. And then there is a 2-row or a 2-bottom disc John Deere plow there, also growing up in the brush. But I bought both those. I think I bought those not at the same time I bought that plow, that bottle cap plow out the back, but pretty close to the same time.
Then we've got Dad's Slant Dash A. You guys have seen it. We started in on it a few weeks ago, and it's been cold. Again, life happens. We've been busy. Things have been busy. That just is what it is. There's Dylan's 41, all tucked away since Dylan's gone. We'll put the tarp on it. Over here, we've got, this is actually the first plow I ever bought. And this came from Matt Wilkerson, actually. It's a number, it's an ABH, I forget the number. But I think it is a trip plow that somebody tried to put hydraulics on. I'm not really sure. I'm not an expert on plows, but Matt made me a killer deal on this thing, and I had to have it. And it needed a wheel and a couple other small things, and I just haven't got to it. And again, it wasn't broke when we bought it, but that neighbor that was cutting trees down on our side of the property line, yeah, this was a victim too. So we drug it up here because I got mad, and I really intended on doing something with it, and I still do. We haven't made it that far yet.
So that's 4 3-bottom plows we've got.
That is 4.
This one, there's 2 in the back, and the one at the showgrounds.
One at the showgrounds.
So 4 3-bottom plows. We got lots of plows, folks.
Yep. All right, then we've got, this is a 45 GM actually, but it's a parts machine. This thing came out of, I believe, southern Oklahoma, central southern Oklahoma, somewhere in there. I acquired it from our friend Patrick Field, which is Brian's brother. Again, longtime viewers of the channel, you've seen Patrick on here. When we went down to the Ouachita Valley Antique Farm Days, Patrick was down there with us, and I don't remember, he had his D out. So Calvin's D and then the other D in that video, that belonged to Patrick. But I acquired this. I have a 48G that has kind of been the bane of my existence, and I discovered that G stands for gold, and you know, I had to buy a whole nother tractor to get the parts that I needed. But you know, this has the rare option of being the 720 model, so it's actually a 720 GM. You know, that's how that works.
Yeah.
And over here we got, this is another tractor that belongs to Dylan. This one came from Silas too, didn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, this one came from Silas, again with Adventures Made from Scratch out in Hutchinson, Kansas. And Dylan got it freed up. We don't really know a whole lot about it. Silas got it at a farm auction and bought it, and it just sat there on his lot, and we saw it in a video, or no, we didn't see it in a video.
No, we went to, Dylan and I went to pick up Don back there.
That's right.
So we bought Don from him, and we went out there to pick Don up, and we were walking around his yard, and this was just sitting there in his yard. And so we looked it over, and Dylan immediately fell in love with it. And we came back home, we talked it over, and he and Silas made a deal on it and bought it. And then that was like April of last year, I think. And then I went back in September and picked it up. So
it is a slant dash too.
it's a slant dash. It's pretty straight rig. It'll
This
make
is
a nice
ultimately
tractor.
what started Dad's infatuation with slant dashes, is this tractor right here, because Dylan bought one and then he just had to have one. But it does have a complete 801 hitch on the back of it. And I wonder why it was set up so wide. Like, the wheels are all the way out on the axles, and then the wheels are even turned around. So
It's as wide as you can get. It barely fit on the trailer.
yeah.
So if you have an idea of why this is set out so wide out in western Kansas, let us know, because we'd be interested to know your theories, because it's as flat as a pancake out there. So it's not a hillside tractor. There's not a lot of vegetable crops. That's wheat country out there. So I don't know why it was like this, but if you got a guess, put it down in the comments. We'd be happy to entertain that idea, because we don't know.
Yep. All right. Moving forward. We've got Mike. There's a video coming soon on Mike here, but we purchased Mike again from Matt Wilkerson.
Yep.
You know, he was just a deal that we couldn't pass up at the time. And it sat inside. You know, it's really a pretty solid little tractor. And we do have videos coming on this thing here soon. But so you will see Mike again shortly, actually. So, but
If the weather ever cooperates.
yeah, the weather, as you can tell, is not real favorable for working outside right now. But
It's what did I say it was? 14 degrees. 14 degrees right now.
yeah, it was 0 when we woke up this morning.
Yeah, and it feels like it's 3. The wind chill feels like it's 3. So, yeah, it's cold out.
And for those of you that are like, well, you guys got a lot of stuff sitting outside. Yeah, we do. There's a lot of stuff that's outside. Shed space is a premium around here, but also we're in the midst of a reorganization. we've had to reorganize. So there's some stuff outside that, you know, it's gonna go inside. We got to get there yet. So there's other stuff that's inside that, you know, it needs to be inside. That's why it's inside. So that's why this stuff's outside. Now, those of you saying, well, you know, you don't have anywhere to put it and don't buy it. Well, a lot of this stuff has been outside longer than I've been alive, all right?
Yeah, a lot of it's been right where you see it for 30, 40 years.
You know, all those mowing machines back there, they were over there with all the tractors were.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of it, it's already been outside. We didn't just acquire it and then leave it outside. And then the stuff that we have acquired, most of it, if it was inside, then it's been put back inside. And if it was already outside, then it's still outside. It makes sense, right? You know, in a way.
Sure.
Okay, so everybody talks about how many ARs I own. Here's another one. It's not mine per se, but it was my grandfather's. And there's actually a article in the old, it's Green Magazine.
Green Magazine.
Yeah, the old Green Magazine that features my grandfather, and this tractor is in it. And ironically, it's sitting in the same spot.
From, I think, 1978, maybe?
Yeah. Like 70s, late 70s, early 80s, there's an article about this, about my grandfather and some of his stuff here. And there's a picture of this tractor still sitting right here. This was one that he was going to do something with, and by that point he got more into cars and less into tractors, and so this thing just sat here. But, you know, on full steel, I believe it's a 36 model, and you know, the wheels aren't too bad. I dug them out a couple years ago. It's sitting on some rocks. There's a big rock pile right here.
We're actually standing on a rock pile right now.
It's on top of a rock pile. So the wheels, I don't think, are too bad. At least they weren't a couple years ago. And again, the tree has grown up in it. But that's just part of what happens.
So you can't tell, but this, like I said, we're standing on a rock pile. So it's lower over there than it is right here. And so this tractor came out of Miami, Oklahoma. He bought it at an auction down there, and backed his trailer up right here where all these trees are now, and this fence and stuff. None of this was here back then, and backed his trailer up here, unloaded it right here, and that's where it stayed. It's never moved since. So then eventually we built the fence, and then the trees grew up, and the fence is falling down, and life happens.
Mm-hmm. But this is another one on the short list just because
it's a nice.
It is a nice complete.
It's
tractor.
a complete tractor. I'll say that. It's, you know, but it's it needs a lot of work.
She's gonna need quite a few things.
Everything.
But it would be neat. All right. So here's our 14T square baler that we loaded on the trailer with a lawnmower in northern Iowa. It hasn't made it into the shed. Actually, it was in the shed. And then we needed to put a combine in the shed, so combine took precedence over the 14T. Sorry, but that's just the way it was. So yeah, that's what this is. Again, longtime viewers of the channel, you know, you can actually go back and find that video where we loaded it on the trailer, and we plan on making some hay with this year, so it will be coming back with a vengeance. So, and then there's the drag links off of the number 71 corn sheller that we bought. Again, we had to make space, so we just haven't found a spot to put it yet. But we will get it inside, because that is stuff that needs to go inside.
And we think that's a Massey Harris running gear underneath it. We're not sure.
Yep.
Also bought at the same time on the Iowa Marketplace trip.
Yep.
Okay, so this is my 620. Believe it or not, this is one of my favorite tractors. And yes, it's sitting outside. It actually died right there this fall, and that's where it sat. So I did buy a tarp for it the other day, and I still haven't put that on yet. So I need to do that, but it's a good running tractor. We've used it around here a lot, and it's just a good all-around tractor to jump on.
Don't pay attention to that.
and hook up implements to or do whatever with. So it's, and you know, I've taken it on several tractor drives and things like that. So I really like the tractor. It's a good size tractor. It'll handle just about anything you want to do on a average farm. So it's a good one.
So just a couple items we have here inside. This is another one of my ARs. You guys have seen the one that we use on the channel relatively frequently. You've seen it running. This AR here in particular is actually the very first one that I bought. Actually, no, that is a lie. This is the second one I bought. But this one here started my love affair with ARs. I wanted it. This was owned by, again, Patrick Field. At the time, it was on rubber tires, which now it's on full steel. But this thing actually went through a shop fire, and Patrick just decided that instead of rebuilding it, that he was going to let it go. And so I bought it. I jumped on the chance because, again, this is what started my love affair with ARs. And then I purchased another tractor that had full steel on it. So I already had the one that you guys see all the time on rubber tires, and so I wanted one on steel. So I put this one on steel, and ironically, I have the other tractor that was on steel that is now on the rubber tires that was on this one to begin with. So we've got it, but it's oh, that ain't good. We're gonna have to work on that in a second. So moving on back here, this is the Spoke D. This thing, you guys have probably maybe seen it in a couple of shorts. We had it running. Oh, Dad's got her freed up. We took this thing down to Gathering of the Green and no, not Gathering of the Green.
Classic
Gathering of the
Green
Green's
Reunion.
coming up. It was the Classic Green Reunion down in Tennessee a couple years ago. We took this thing out, and we actually did some plowing with it out at Halltown at the inaugural show in Halltown, Missouri a couple years ago. I say inaugural, it's the Ozark Steam Engine Association show. It was the first year we moved to Halltown, so we did some plowing with it out there, and it's really a neat one. Then here we've got, this is a little BR that belongs to Dad, and him and my grandfather restored it back in the early 80s. And it was a pretty good runner. We haven't really done a whole lot with it the last few years. As you guys can tell, it's now it's holding the canvases for the number 7 combine. But it's inside, so it needs a few things. It's sat for years, and we got it running a few years ago, and I forget what happened to it. It just died, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just died, and life got in the way. We were going to tear into it, but that didn't ever happen, so now here it sits. That is a 29 GP. That was actually the first tractor that my grandfather bought as a collector. So that started his tractor collecting frenzy, as you would call it. And then right there, that's a 720 that he took apart. And it has been in that exact condition for as long as I can remember. Okay, well, that's going to conclude today's tour. We just got a few things here inside that we showed you guys. That this is actually my great-grandfather's shop. Used to work in here, did a lot of work. But anymore, it's full of storage stuff, and it is very cold in here. So
It is very cold.
But yeah.
Hope you guys liked the tour today. Just, again, several of you have asked for a tour of our stuff, and so we just decided stuff didn't really want to start today. It's so cold and whatever, so we just kind of walked around outside and did an outside tour, and we'll do another tour later when it's warmer.
Of the stuff that's in the building.
Yeah.
So
Thanks for watching. We appreciate you all, and come back next week because we'll have something else. We don't know what, but we'll have something else.
So, as always, guys, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell 2 friends. Doesn't cost you guys a dime, and it greatly helps us out. So, we'll see you guys next week.